And we're live! Hello and welcome to the 93rd episode of Game Theory Gang. I'm your host, Maddie Allen, with special guest and gang member, KG of InternetMoney.io. Welcome.
Gang member. Okay. What's up, fellow gang members? Good to see everybody.
So we've got a great show for you tonight. Some of the members of the gang couldn't be here because they had family obligations and that sort of thing. But really excited. We might have a couple more people join before the end of the stream. But go ahead and hit the like and subscribe button. Share this out. Thanks for being here, everybody. And thanks for being here, KG.
Hey, Maddie, thanks for having me on.
Exciting times in crypto, eh?
I don't know if there's ever a non-exciting time in crypto. I mean, sometimes it's negative excitement, but it never sleeps. It never gives you time to rest. That's for sure.
There's always something going on in the crypto world, and it's partly because it's a 24/7 game, unlike legacy finance that has sucky hours and sucky everything.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And I appreciate you having me on the show. I enjoy spending time on the game theory.
Well, it's great too, because I know that you're a little bit under the weather tonight, but you decided to show up anyway. So good on you for your work ethic there.
Thanks, man. I'm an opportunity maximalist, and you extended me a great opportunity, and so I'm going to find a way to be there.
Right on, right on. Somebody's asking in the chat about staker rugging. You're gonna have to be a little bit more specific. How they can access their portfolio. Well, yeah. So I know. So I'm a staker app user, but all my staker app coins or tokens, I locked my hex for long periods because I wanted to, get an airdrop or something cool. And I had already done a lot of my time locking before staker app really got popular or even existed. So I don't know if rugged is the right term, because there's a known less than ideal compatibility between a Gnosis safe, which is what staker app users signed up for, and being able to do lots of stuff on PulseChain until a dev comes along and writes the code. So luckily, one of the devs that I work with might have some clues as to how to move that project along. And I know Alex from Hedron has expressed interest in developing that product. But yeah, I think there's people that are unhappy because they can't claim their like liquid loans if they sacrificed from staker app because it's a Gnosis safe that they used on Ethereum before PulseChain existed. If people have liquid coins, I believe they can access. If you kept the same phone, you could access. But there are certain circumstances where people can't access. And if you go and message help@staker.app, I think that's their email that they respond to. Any comments, KG? You're muted right now.
Thank you. Yeah, so I actually just started seeing some of the staker information being put out today. And, I personally don't want to say anything negative about the staker team because, well, I know how complicated software development is, and especially when you have an application on iOS, and especially when you're doing Gnosis safe stuff. That's just a lot of layers of complexity. So I don't have enough knowledge to say good or bad, but I am curious. This Fox Mulder said Staker filed for bankruptcy. Is that confirmed, or is that I don't know. I was just wondering if you knew about that being confirmed or not.
Yeah, I wouldn't jump to any conclusions. A lot of people see this stream, so I'm not gonna like make any claims based on information that's just coming in the chat.
Sure.
The chat isn't always right about everything, but they can sometimes point us in the right direction.
Sure.
Shout out to the chat.
Shout out to the chat. And I really hope to see this get worked out with Staker, because it I actually remember in the early days of Staker app, I was having an issue, and Steph, being the hardworking guy that he is, he was helping me troubleshoot on a Telegram DM one-on-one. So, I know that historically they have been a really responsive, hardworking team, and I'm hoping to see this little drought that they're in, whatever we want to call it, just be a season. So I'm still remaining hopeful until we get official announcements.
Well, and I should probably point out that interacting with people in direct message usually is a scam, so
Fair
people
enough.
need to watch out for that.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
But yeah, shout out to Steph. He is awesome. I like him. Cool. So yeah, so that's pretty exciting that some people are able to access their Staker app, coins because they didn't switch phones or because they loaded it into a secure MetaMask, stuff like that. People can access. I think if you're having trouble accessing, you need to go through the steps of contacting support, and then if that doesn't work, use trusted channels to get your information, and hopefully that's helpful to people. So yeah, so we got just wanted to address that question straight away because I'm hoping it can be helpful. We were gonna have Anders on tonight, and I think because he's halfway around the world, he maybe didn't get the time right or something. But either way, I do want to address what's in the thumbnail, because apparently Love.io has started to get listed on one or two different exchanges over in Asia, and that's a token that's on PulseChain. And so it's reasonable to assume that those exchanges might also be interested in listing PulseChain, which would be really cool because having exchange listings, that helps to do cross-chain swaps and lots of other interesting things. It brings more attention and volume to the chain. And even though we don't typically recommend that people only use centralized exchanges or hold their coins on centralized exchanges instead of holding their keys for themselves, it's still part of being an on and off ramp for crypto. And it's an important part of showing up in different websites, like and all that good kind of stuff. So what are your opinions on this, KG?
Well, I think it can only be net bullish that PulseChain projects are getting listed on centralized exchanges, because centralized exchanges are the easiest way to get your fiat in and out of crypto. They're the most consumer retail friendly way to get your fiat in and out of crypto. And so I think that as we get more centralized exchange listings, whether it's for PLS itself or projects built on PulseChain, it's just more exposure to PulseChain. Now, I think the real win is going to come in when we get some of maybe the more blue chip exchanges. But hey, I don't know every blue chip crypto exchange around the world. So maybe in Asia, the one that Love.io is getting listed on is the blue chip exchange of that region. I have no idea. But like, at least here in the States, like when we start to see Pulse or Pulse Chain projects getting listed on places like crypto.com, it doesn't even have to be Coinbase. It could be Kraken, crypto.com. OKX seems to be a decently big one. I mean, say what we want about Binance. Binance is huge. So when we start to see maybe, I thought maybe we were on Gate.io for a bit, but even Gate.io is an interesting one to get listed on. But long story short, I think that it's net bullish for the ecosystem to get listed on centralized exchanges, as long as, and I don't think we'll see this happen, but if we're not just giving the exchange a whole bunch of coins so that, maybe they can dump it or something. But beyond that, yeah, it's good.
Yeah, I mean, if that's another thing I want to find out from people who have experience getting things listed on exchanges. For example, Rags to Riches, I believe, has done this. I'm not sure if Hexy Bastard has. Anders from Love.io now has. And so we need to get our think tank together and figure out what the trick is.
Paying them. That's the trick. Either
Yeah.
it's either A, you pay them, or B, you have enough trading volume on your asset that they believe they can make enough in fees by investing in your asset and then buying it and then selling it on their platform. Or three, token founder has enough allocation that they can load the exchange with enough liquidity to facilitate the exchanges. And they're only going to do that anyways if they feel like they can make enough money. So it
I
all
like the
comes down to
second one the best.
which one was that again? Oh, the trading volume. Yeah,
Yeah. Where it
because
gets
that's the most
listed
organic.
organically.
Exactly. That's
Boom.
like you could. Yeah, that right there is what you really want. And yeah, but they're the ultimate judges of that.
Yeah, good stuff. Well, yeah, that's part of the exciting news that we're waiting to see the volume pickup. Now, what do you think of the ETH and Bitcoin market so far in 2024? By the way, Happy New Year, everybody!
Yeah. Happy New
I don't
Year.
know if you noticed, it's 2024 now.
Yeah, I did notice a little bit. Went by so fast. Like way too fast. Like 2023 was a blink of an eye. You
Yeah.
know, they say, when I was younger, I used to hear, "Oh, as you get older, time goes by faster." And I'm really starting to see that. And it's almost exponential. Like it's not even, it's not even a flat line. It's like a bonding curve. Like it's faster and faster and faster and faster.
Yeah, it's like I'm sacrificing my time into a
Literally.
bonding curve. Yeah.
Literally, yes. Exactly. Exactly.
Still waiting for my volume bonus.
Yeah, what the hell?
Yeah.
Where's my extra time? Where's my multiplier on times?
That's right.
Yeah, now big question. I was just pulling it up. I mean, the market has been pretty bullish for the last, what has it been, like 45, 60 days or so?
I thought you were gonna say hours.
Oh, I mean that. Let me double check before I say hours.
I think we're up like 5% in Bitcoin and in Ethereum in 2024 already. Those might be intraday numbers, but year
Yeah,
to
it looks
date
like
we're crushing it.
yeah, year to date so far bullish. Yeah.
I'm
Hey,
serious, man.
don't. Look, oh god.
What did stocks do? What did they do today?
Yeah.
Were they even
What is there?
open?
I think exactly. Hey, we're over here doing X's. Have you guys even put the open sign on? Dang, man. What's interesting is Bitcoin percentage wise is closer to its all-time high than ETH is percentage wise. ETH is about a 2.3x from an all-time high. Bitcoin's only about a point a 0.5x.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Bitcoin's actually moving right now.
Well, it's the first mover typically in a cycle, and this cycle seems to be coming a little bit early, unless we're getting faked out by the Fed. But yeah, I mean, normally Ethereum tops after Bitcoin, so
Makes
it's a
sense.
healthy sign to see Bitcoin running. And I don't know how many people here have been around for the 4-year cycle, but altcoins aren't supposed to moon until after Bitcoin and Ethereum.
I'm ready for it. I'm ready for some mooning.
Yeah. I guess Ivan on Tech had a little breakdown today. Did you hear about this?
I saw. I did. Yeah. At least he makes
All
it
right.
funny.
For the audience who didn't catch it, how would you describe Ivan's breakdown regarding PulseChain?
I can see why he feels that way. I mean, you can't invalidate that perspective because we who are within this community and believe in it and are actually, like yourself, like myself, building things to further it, we know it has legs. But to other people who are just looking at lines on a chart or numbers on a chart, well, we have to somewhat validate that perspective if we want to be taken seriously and figure out.
Validate what? That and I'm glad we're disagreeing here because it makes for a better show.
Sure.
Validate what? Altcoins are supposed to moon after Bitcoin and Ethereum.
Well, his point was altcoins are mooning, Hex isn't.
Which ones? The centralized ones that aren't even really mooning because you couldn't get into them early?
I don't know which ones. I was just speaking to his point.
Yeah. Well, Ivan, he said the word cope about 15 times in the 2 minutes he was mentioning Pulse. And he said it so many times it became a compliment that he was complimenting how much the Hex and PulseChain community, how strong the community is.
Exactly.
Even though we haven't mooned yet. And it's like, okay, yeah, I wouldn't have expected us to moon yet because altcoins don't moon first. So, you want those Ethereum and Bitcoin bags to get built up really, really high before they start rotating into your coin. So usually how it works.
And that makes sense. And, when you're right, when he was saying cope, he started out saying it as a negative, right? When someone says, oh, it's copium, they're basically saying that they believe the ecosystem is dead, it's done, and the remaining people who believe in that ecosystem are lying to themselves effectively. But if the remaining people in the ecosystem are continuing to build, communicate, and bring adoption to the ecosystem, it's only cope if the whole story fleshes out and the ecosystem is dead. The whole story hasn't fleshed out and the ecosystem isn't dead. So just because it's in a lull or in a trench right now doesn't mean that it's over forever. And so I talk to more people who believe that it has a chance than doesn't. I mean, at least in the existing community. The outside the community, well, that's a whole different set of obstacles we have to overcome. But within the community, I continue to see bullish sentiment, especially now that PulseChain is here, because it's not all about Hex anymore. Look, I like Hex as much as the next guy, but PulseChain is an entire network. It is an ecosystem of anything that can be built on the, in the sandbox.
Well, another thing Ivan said, yeah, I think those are some great points. Another thing Ivan said is that he still holding his PulseChain bag, hoping that it goes back to the sacrifice rate so he can dump it, quote, like a soy boy dumper who dumps at the sac price. Those were his words. I would never say that about him. I like Ivan, but he was being a little bit self-deprecating there. So Ivan on tech, he's a one of the top 5 most influential crypto YouTubers in the world. He's the only one that's a dev.
I have nothing but respect for Ivan. I think he has nothing but respect. That's my ultimate feeling on the guy. I don't necessarily agree with everything that comes out of his mouth, nor do I agree with everything that comes out of anyone's mouth. But Ivan, he has my respect and appreciation for all he does for crypto.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good stuff. And yeah, I mean, even if somebody was only talking negative, which Ivan was not only being negative, he said he's holding his bag. He's waiting for it to come back, and then he might not even sell it once it comes back. So, yeah, I mean, even negative press is good press sometimes, or supposedly. But so, that's cool.
It's not how bad, I guess.
And yeah, I mean, so let's put everything into context here, because I just saw in the chat that there's some breaking news on X here regarding Staker app. Steph was just getting ready to push the button on breaking our hearts here, but he did release a statement that says that they are closing down the app. This was released like 3 minutes ago, so it was like after we started the discussion. We didn't start, the chat did. Staker app says it's been an amazing adventure, but we're in the process of shutting down the Staker company and the mobile app. In a few days, the app will be replaced by a user-friendly web interface so that users can end their stakes, hopefully when matured, and send their tokens to any other accounts. Remember, your funds were never in the app, but on the blockchain. They are safely accounted for on the Ethereum and PulseChain chains. It's been a pleasure to serve 150K plus users over the past 3 years. We're glad to see that the HEX Pulse community has grown tremendously and that many superior solutions are now available for managing your crypto day to day. The new web interface will be accessible for the next 15 years. No one is left behind. A list of what they've accomplished here. 150,000 app downloads on iOS and Android. 4.6 out of 5 rating. 250,000 safe smart accounts. 290 million total value transacted. 500 million hex staked with an average of 7 years. And then they made a note here of where Staker app fell short. We didn't have the time to put in place the multi-signatures UI for advanced users to protect their safe smart accounts. Such UI is non-trivial to get right since it requires multi-party interactions. Maybe they're talking about the social recovery stuff that they were working on, or the rockside.io stuff that made sure that your transaction didn't get stuck. We didn't properly structure the onboarding program and could not deliver on our promise. On-chain referrals could have been prioritized earlier. Team members have invested 10,000 or more hours of work and millions of dollars of their own money, or sorry, hundreds of thousands plus of their own money to add value to the community without any fundraise. We've been rewarded with a very large support during all those years. Thank you. Some of us are now taking a break or moving on to new ventures. Stake wisely. Never share your secret phrase. There you go.
Wow.
Breaking news.
Wow.
And what a coincidence that we have a different wallet founder here with us today. What's your take?
Well, I mean, sucks, because I don't want to see any teams fail, right? Because when teams win, all of crypto wins and all of crypto gets stronger. So I don't necessarily feel great about this. And I'm curious, like, they were obviously talented individuals. And so I'm wondering, my technical curiosity is like, what happened? Why was it they didn't have the time? I mean, possibly, but it's probably something different than not having the time. But who am I to judge? Who am I to judge? But it's probably something different because but I don't think it was lack of skill, because they clearly had the skill. I mean, they did the thing. They invented the thing to begin with, which was an incredible service. So sucks, but I hope that we ultimately find out like what actually happened.
Here's a good take by Joe. Staker app got us here. Other protocols will get us there. Thank you, Steph and team. I think
Likewise.
People will have mixed emotional reactions to this. Whenever you are the dopamine dealer, you've created an app where people check the price. You are now their dopamine dealer.
Mm.
You give them their hits of dopamine every time they check the price every day, or multiple times a day, or multiple times an hour during a bull market. And you're burning down the rainforest with all your screenshots of the current price, right? That's what people who make crypto apps that show the price, that's kind of where they position themselves as part of the crypto addiction, or part of the crypto mechanism that makes it work in the first place, right? So reasonable for people to have mixed reactions to this. I would probably be pissed if MetaMask shut down. But in this case, I like that some people are staying positive out there, and that it looks like no funds need to be lost due to this shutdown of StakerApp.
That's really the most important thing, is that they are, even on their exit, they are making it to where users can still access their funds. If that doesn't show good intent, I don't know what else can. Because, like with MetaMask or Internet Money Wallet or another wallet where it's not a multi-signature wallet or interface like Staker app, as long as you have your seed phrase or your private keys stored securely, any of these wallets can go offline right this moment, and that's fine. You could just take your private keys or your seed phrase and import them into a different interface. But with Staker, it was a little more complex because not all interfaces supported what they were doing. And on PulseChain, nowhere supported what they were doing. They literally had to, again, invent a solution. And so
Yeah.
I'm glad that they were able to make it so that you could get your hex stakes. I hope that we do see somebody, right? Because this is the beauty of being smart contracts. Hopefully somebody can invent the solution so that people that did sacrifice from their staker wallet can actually access those coins. Yeah, I hope to see that.
Thanks to Fast Abdul with this super chat here.
Hey, Fast.
Instead of bringing up bribes as he normally does, he says, when one door closes, another window opens. The IM could have the staker services. And Duncan Andrews here is speculating that it could have been the SEC and Gary Gensler that turned Staker app off, of wanting to continue providing a service. So that's an interesting take that is unknown at this time.
That is an interesting way to look at it. It could have been obviously speculation, but interesting take nonetheless.
I'll give you another hot take.
Mm-hmm.
It could have been the outrage marketing.
Well, in what way? In what way?
Well, not everybody liked the outrage marketing, and some people were highly offended by Richard talking about his PP so much.
Sure. Arguably a bit unprofessional.
And one of the spiciest takes that I would say I have on this show of Game Theory Gang is that isn't it interesting what the effect was of the outrage marketing, that it was started before the hex top came in and maybe prevented us from going to $1 or $2 or $5, therefore saving people who would have otherwise been enthusiastically buying the top and making the top go higher. And furthermore, wouldn't people have subscribed at much higher numbers to sacrifice, to get sacrifice points? And wouldn't that, now that we've gotten our free airdrop, wouldn't that have created more downward pressure on PulseChain and PulseX for years to come, if, let's say, there was $5 billion sacrificed instead of just 1.7? So even though the outrage marketing definitely lost us as a community some great participants, like my religious family members who could not participate because they were horribly offended by the outrage marketing, but Maybe they were saved, right? So do you have any reactions to that theory?
I can see that as being an unintended positive consequence, but do not think that it was intentional.
Nobody thinks it was intentional, huh?
I mean,
I
to
guess
say
I'm
like,
alone.
hey, to say that, hey, I'm going to intentionally destroy my entire brand reputation and product price to save people from getting wrecked later. That's like
It's a
some mental
character
gymnastics.
arc. It's like as old as stories are. This is like thousands of years old. The main character does something bad and then they redeem themselves.
You're right. They have the rising phoenix moment. You're right. That archetype does exist, but you know, outrage marketing as a science does work. But there's a very fine line when outrage marketing becomes train wreck marketing. Just because people are watching it doesn't mean it's something that what you're looking at is a good thing. It doesn't mean that it's a positive outcome. Like Mr. Beast, man, Mr. Beast on YouTube. If you don't know who, I'm sure you do, but if out there, if you don't know Mr. Beast, dude is like all the credit to Miss. He does the best outrage marketing. Why? Because he'll go and he'll walk into a store and buy the whole store and then give it away to people. You might not some people might not think that's outrage marketing, but when I think about outrage marketing, I think about outrageous marketing. And that is definitely outrageous. People are like, oh my God, we're talking about it now. Right now we're talking about it because it was crazy and outrageous. But it was positive and only benefited every single person that he interacted with in that transaction. The store owner sold all their inventory and got marketing forever. And then everybody he donated all the clothes to, brand new, it was only positive. So, and then people sponsored the show. So he probably made all the money back anyways. He actually didn't spend any money. Genius.
Well, I think what Richard did is more genius than that. Because people didn't buy Hex at $5. So they didn't get harmed as much as they would have if the free market had prevailed.
Yeah, but I think that's not a great way to look at it because as a Hex holder, I wish people were buying Hex at $5. I would have loved to have extracted some value at $5 Hex. If anyone's being honest,
You had liquid Hex at the top? Are you like Tobiwan?
I have some liquid Hex, of course.
You did at the top.
I did it. I didn't sell it.
Well, what were you waiting for?
I was going higher. I thought I was going higher. I have bought Hex. My first Hex buy was between 2 and 3 cents. And honestly, I'm not happy to say this out loud, but I rode that bag all the way to the top and I rode it all the way down to where we are now. I didn't extract any profit. And I honestly, sure, Hexicans could say, oh, that's the way. Yeah, and that's fine. But there's an art and philosophy of just like you DCA in, it's okay to DCA out. You're not a lettuce-handed, wrecked furu pleb if you sell some of your assets to pay your mortgage and feed your family. Why do we get into crypto? To make money. Let's all be honest with ourselves here.
Sure.
So I would have loved to have seen Hex at $5. Absolutely.
With the liquid Hex, you're supposed to either sell it when it goes up or stake it.
Dude, I was caught in the euphoria. I thought we were going up forever, bro. I was like, I was caught up.
Well, and then, I mean, look, I didn't call it right. I thought that Hex would keep going up in the bear market, but nothing like Hex has ever existed before. People have never time locked this much money for this long, and so it's somewhat unpredictable. But in my opinion, there is going to be a bottom for Hex, and it is going to moon again. I don't know what that point is, but DCA in, DCA out.
And I definitely
Stake
think,
in the middle.
hey, just like having a diversified portfolio is so many layers, right? Like, okay, if part of your portfolio is Hex, well, there's ways to diversify even within Hex, right? You
Go
could have
on.
some stake, you could have a staking ladder, you could also have some liquid. It's okay to play the speculative
Oh
game
yeah.
as well as the staking game, you know?
I
Like
mean,
that you
having
have
a little bit
mattress
liquid makes
money.
sense. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I don't fault anyone for having a liquid bag at all. I think it's actually smart investing, my opinion.
You want to know what to tell people when they say you should diversify, but you know they're wrong?
What's that?
Diversify. Is that what you want to do? You want to get into worse things than what you know is the best? Oh, if you don't know what the best is, then why are you investing at all?
That's a
That's
fair
what you
take.
would say. However, you kind of provided an original answer because you said people could even diversify within Hex by time locking, and that's a really hot take. That's
Glad you
good.
think so. Glad you think so.
Um, no, I mean I hold some ETH. Yeah, I don't like it, but I do.
You don't like $50 sends and $180 swaps? You don't love that?
I like ending my stakes, and I already know it's going to cost a shitload of ETH in the future, and I don't like writing blank checks to anybody. So yes, I've accumulated some ETH. And however, I've not time locked it in Time Pays Me yet, so I could paper hand it and sell it for RH things. If the price keeps going down, I will buy.
Ape? You're going to ape in?
I know I will keep dollar cost averaging. It's like it's beautiful, man. It's beautiful when people keep selling because there's only so many people who can get out. There was chatter on the internet about was Steph selling recently,
Mm.
and I'm like, shoot. Well, if Steph was selling, then how many more people can there be to sell? I mean, uh, it's a good sign when the whales leave and now you can get new whales in. That's actually something I'm working on for the Hex Conference, getting new whales in. I've got a master plan, but I can't reveal it until the day of the conference.
Ah, well,
It's good stuff. Good stuff.
yeah, we it would definitely be nice to see some new whales around. And I think I do agree that there is the potential for Hex to moon again. But in order for Hex to moon, PulseChain has to. In my opinion, Hex is no longer going to be its own thing, right? It's going to be completely predicated on PulseChain success. And I think
I
Hex
agree.
as a side benefit is going to come up with PulseChain, not the other way around.
Yeah, there would have to be pretty big capitulation for it to not be. I mean, yeah, they're pretty much tied together any way that
Yep.
I see it as well. Um, okay, here you go. Here's some data to back up what you just said.
I like data.
Let me see. So, share my screen here. This survey is like not that old, and already
Wow.
300 people have voted on it. It's like, I don't know, 5 hours old. And the numbers are looking pretty good, people. I'm not really sure what I'm asking here. I intentionally made it vague. The question is 4 diamonds, and you can only pick one: EHEX, PHEX, Pulse, or PulseX. And it's almost perfectly evenly split between EHEX, PHEX, and PulseX at 22% each. And then PLS has a slight, interestingly, it has a slight higher percentage of 34%.
Which
But when I
I go. Sorry.
I ran those numbers a month or two ago, and the same survey, HEX was way less than the rest of them.
Mm.
We've had a
No,
comeback in
that's
sentiment.
very
What do you
interesting.
think?
Well, it's interesting that you said that. So EHEX was way down. Now it's like kind of caught up. But I think this perfectly describes what you and I were just talking about. Like, right, the sentiment around
Yes.
PulseX and P and EHEX are about the same, but the clear leader, even if it's only by 13%, is or 12% is Pulse. And that makes sense to me. That because yeah, it just makes sense. Makes sense.
Sasquatch just had to choose between buying ramen noodles or PLS, and he chose PLS. Beware the hungry bull.
Well, make sure you get out there. Nourish those
You
bodies.
know, the other thing that's we should mention today, it's Johnny Chaos's birthday. Happy birthday, Johnny Chaos.
Happy birthday, Johnny. Look at that
Yeah.
smile. How can you not love that guy?
Yeah. The internet loves him. So do we.
That's an incredible dude right there, man. His artistic ability with what he does with like his I don't even know what his movie props and just all the masks and just makeup and all that stuff. That gentleman right there is an artist, man. So shout out to you, Johnny. Happy birthday, brother.
Yeah. Shout out to Johnny. Wish him a happy birthday, everybody. That's what you should do. Let's see. What else do we got going on here? Man, I have a bunch of updates about the HEX Conference. That's pretty exciting. And then KG, you have also been a busy guy. What's been going on with you?
Man, so we actually just made a big announcement from Internet Money 3 days ago. And for those who have been actually last time I was on your stream not too long ago, 2 weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago, whenever that was, we were in the final stages of the Internet Money Wallet beta. And so on December 30th or 31st, depending on where you were at in the world, we are fully launched our non-beta release. So we were in beta for over a year. And now we are twice security audited, which you can view both those audits at internetmoney.io/audits. We went open source with the wallet as well. And you can view the entire wallet at gitlab.com/internetmoneyio. And we launched a stats page along with that. And actually, I checked the stats page shortly before coming on stream, and we just crossed over 30,000 downloads. And in the last 48,
Wow.
72 hours, yeah, we got 412 downloads, I think it was. So word is starting to spread.
Congratulations.
Thanks, man. It's been about 2 years ish in the making. So it was a big day for us, big day for our community. And also, it's a big day for PulseChain because when you're out there in the world and you're onboarding people into crypto and you onboard through the Internet Money Wallet, people are automatically introduced to PulseChain. So when you see us out there, we have already begun. We have been for months and will continue to engage and talk with other chains and other communities and other projects. And that is net beneficial for PulseChain because every single builder, person, project, community we bring into Internet Money Wallet, they're automatically brought into PulseChain by nature of the Internet Money Wallet being native to PulseChain. So now, as a community in our arsenal, we have a homegrown MetaMask replacement that was built by PulseChain community members for the PulseChain community that you can make the switch from MetaMask right now. That's twice security audited, over a year in beta, and official release open sourced on Android, iOS, and Chrome. It was a beautiful day.
Awesome. Yeah, that definitely sounds like a huge list of accomplishments that have been years in the making.
It was a lot of hard work.
Yeah, and it seems like at least one of the posts I saw on social media, it seemed like the community was very much behind you.
That was so heartwarming. We got a lot of engagement on that tweet. And shout out to even K4K, who gave us a major support endorsement tweet today. Good to see you back, brother. So we're starting to get more and more of the gentlemen like yourself, Maddie, who are becoming more and more supportive of us as people and us as a product and us as a viable, real option, not only for PulseChain, but for your general crypto needs. So it's, an analogy that I like to use is, some artists, they paint or they do photography or they do digital art or they draw or whatever. Our art is crypto project development. And to see us being accepted is like our art being validated as that's good art. And so it's, as human beings as well, it's very fulfilling and heartwarming, honestly.
Well, let me ask you a technical question. Why is
Yep.
it that your wallet can show the prices of stuff in PulseChain and MetaMask used to show it for a minute and then it stopped? Is that because PulseChain got delisted from Gate.io and MetaMask is lazy? Is that the reason?
I don't know if I can't say why, but MetaMask gets their prices from CoinGecko. And if an asset is not listed on CoinGecko, then it is not it does not have a price in MetaMask. And so
What about Pulse?
now if Pulse price isn't showing, which it still is listed on CoinGecko, then it is being purposefully censored by MetaMask because they just get their prices from CoinGecko. So, and I know that because we've had our assets listed on CoinGecko. We had to go through some rigmarole. I know that by firsthand knowledge and firsthand experience. Now, our wallet, what we do is it's gatekeep free. We don't rely on CoinMarketCap or CoinGecko. We actually leverage Dex Screener. And so all 72 chains that Dex Screener supports and all the assets that Dex Screener covers, which is literally every asset with the liquidity pool, even if it's only existed for 5 minutes, has a price in the Internet Money wallet. So there's no application process. Your token just has a price in our wallet. Why they don't do that, I can only speculate, but I think it's very silly that they don't, because I like seeing prices of all my tokens, even if no one else cares about them.
I can't even see how many commas there are.
We have commas. We have commas and prices, bro.
Yeah. Those are good things to have. Yeah.
And even on the input, we have commas. So, like, let's say you want to send somebody like 1,500,364,000 pulse.
Dude, I
Okay.
don't have that much Pulse.
Well,
A billion?
a billion?
Dude, I am a long-term hex staker. I did not have liquid funds to sacrifice.
Okay. Hey, no judgment at all. Point being is some people have a billion pulse, or okay, even let's say, I don't know, Shiba fans out there. I don't know, maybe some Shiba fans. My point is, when you're dealing in assets that are in the billions, hundreds of billions, it can be confusing to sit there and try to count 12 zeros without a comma,
Yeah,
Even in
it's
Hex, you can get in the hundreds of millions or the tens of millions.
some people can. Man, I'll tell you about like hundreds of millions of Pulse. That's a thing.
But even that still proves the point, because it's like, and also something that we want to implement coming soon is like putting, like, let's say you want to send someone 1,000,000 pulse, right? Rather than
Yeah,
saying
that's a
one,
reasonable amount to send
okay, rather than
somebody.
saying 1,000,000, you can just literally hit 1,000,000. Bing. Would that be cool?
Sweet.
Just to hit a button.
Sure.
Yeah. All about that user experience. UI,
Yeah,
UX.
being able to read it with commas, yeah. I'm a fan.
Well, check it out,
Good
man.
stuff. Good stuff. What's up, Hex Deck 16? Good to see you here.
Hex Deck. Hey, Hex Deck's always been supportive. Thanks for all you do, brother.
Hell yeah. We got Fashion Coder in the stream too. Another YouTuber. She says, I love internet money. I'm teaching an in-person crypto course. And I'm going to have everybody use internet money for their wallet. KG, thanks for all your hard work. Boom.
Fashion Coder, thank you. And again, you and your father, you've always given us a voice. You've always supported us. Thanks for all you've done for us. Thanks for all you do for crypto. And if your onboards ever need any help with internet money, by all means, we're here. So thank you for making internet money your onboarding tool.
People have not been able to rewind because the stream is so engaging that they refuse to rewind. And I'm seeing lots of questions about the thumbnail. So I was planning to have the founder of love.io on the stream tonight, and they got their token, which is native on Pulse. It's a PulseChain token. They got their token listed on a centralized exchange in Asia. And the question I wanted to ask is, will Pulse also be listed on this centralized exchange? Because how can you list a PulseChain token without having, your backend on the centralized exchange interacting with Pulse? It's not possible. So that seems like a no-brainer and something that might kickstart other centralized exchanges to start listing a PulseChain. But unfortunately, with him being on the other side of the world, it looks like he's not able to make it for this particular episode. So I am posing the question, just putting it out there that it's a possibility and it should be on your radar. Asked and answered twice. When Steph stops dumping, there you go. That was also covered. That it's rumored that he's been selling Hex, which creates an opportunity and meat on the bone for the next person who's still dollar cost averaging. When I drove to Florida a couple weeks ago, I did a 14-hour Twitter Spaces, and I talked to hundreds of people that still believe in Hex. And they made me believe in Hex too, man. Which is a good thing because I'm putting on the conference this year. Wow. And man, it's looking better than ever, actually. I'm pretty excited to report that. And yeah, so I guess I'll go ahead. We've got 180 people watching live, thousands on the replay. Hit the like and subscribe button. And I'm going to go through here the information about the upcoming HEX conference that's coming up in just 4 days, Saturday through Tuesday. It's a 4-night event starting at 6 p.m. Central Time, going for 6 hours each day, each of the 4 nights. So starting on Saturday, January 6th, U.S. time, although we'll have people joining from all around the world. It's going to be a really, really great lineup this year. I've never seen a lineup this good. Let me see if I can get a graphic to go along with this so I can show people the schedule as I describe it. You can always get the information here on hexconference.com and on my Twitter. KG, how many HEX conferences have you participated in?
As a speaker, I think this is my second one. As a viewer, all of them, I think. I mean, nice. I guess I don't know exactly how many you've done, but I think all of them, personally. At least as a viewer.
It gets confusing because I did some online PulseChain ones, but as far as HEX conferences go, this is the 4th annual conference. And it's been the same days every single year ever since 2021, January 6th through 9th. So that keeps it pretty simple.
Nice, man.
And it's always online only for the January conference. And then I usually try to do some in-person stuff later on in the year. So I actually did, due to a number of reasons, I rescheduled the world record event. We're going to do a practice run at this time, this coming Saturday at 2:45 p.m. Central. And then the official world record attempt for the most YouTubers live is going to be the following Saturday at the same exact time. And the reason to do that is also not only because of more people being available on the second Saturday, but also more people can find out about it through the HEX conference all 4 days. Instead of having it before the conference, we'll have it after the conference on the following Saturday. But if you're already signed up, you're welcome to participate in the test. We actually need testing to happen so that we make sure that we can pull this feed off. So that's going to be really cool. And yeah, of course, there's a beautiful picture of what it looks like to have so many people on screen all at once. And it might not look that beautiful when we do it, but that's the idea, is having 100, about 170 people on screen all at once is a beautiful thing. Now get this, KG. We are going to have, to kick off the first hour of the HEX conference, we're going to have Johnny Chaos and Dr. Lamont Black. Can you imagine?
That, when I saw that, I legitimately got excited to see this conversation. That conversation is going to be wild.
And, Johnny, he's the one that suggested, once the crowd suggested that he stream with Lamont Black, Johnny suggested that he would be the fiat skeptic that meets with the HEX skeptic from the highest of stakes. Of course, we know that Lamont Black is now a self-proclaimed HEX economist. And so that's pretty exciting. So yeah, the first hour is going to kick so much ass. Everybody's going to be there. And then second hour of the conference, an amazing panel. All these people have incredible personalities, and they represent different thinking in the crypto space. So like for a 1 hour panel on how to HEX in 2024, you got Nerd Girl, Adam Stokes, RH Max, and Axis Alive. And then hour 3 is going to be even more wild, because we're going to have 25 speakers, each going for 2 minutes each. And these will be testimonials that people can be solo on screen, or I'm willing to go up there with them and just support their being on screen. And the huge list of people, Ashley Ash, Hex Gata, Vibra Finance, F Molina, Money Talk Dane, Moonpath, Apex Hex, Markable, Hexakin Lindsay, D'Artagnan 8, Hex to USD, War Ants, Crypto Truthkin, Michael Lung, Expensive Taste, Hex Ninja, Fashion Coder, Chocolate Taint, Whitney Magic, Hexray Vision, The Ascending Man, Being the Machine, Zenith, Crypto, Alan Fly. That's the list of people that is going to all be speaking in hour 3. And if you're one of the hour 3 people, just show up 20 minutes before you're supposed to be on screen to do the light and sound check. And that'll be with Sticker Guy. And you go to the Telegram whenever you signed up to be in the HEX conference. Actually, it's in your DMs on Twitter or Telegram from me. That's where you find the link to go to the speakers room on Telegram, and then you get the link to join this stream. So be there exactly 20 minutes early, and there's going to be a group of 10 people kind of going. So this is the panel 2A is the first 20 minutes. Panel 2B is the next 20 minutes after that. And then the final 20 minutes in the hour's panel 2 seat. So that's just the way we have it organized. We've never done 25 speakers in 1 hour before. We've done like 18 before. So that'll be cool.
That's a lot of speakers to rapid fire, man. A lot of people to manage. Good for you. And
thanks.
That I hope everybody truly understands the amount of effort that goes in to Maddie setting this up. So even if you can't tune in to watch because you're busy in your life or whatever, like it, comment, retweet, do all the things, because he puts in probably an incalculable amount of time. Even making this chart, I'm sure, took hours. So thanks for all you do, man. Truly.
Thanks, man. My pleasure. Yeah. And definitely watch it. Last year we had like 170,000 views of an average of 20 minutes each view. So if somebody only watched for 20 seconds, somebody else had to watch for like way longer in order to get the average up. So that is a really incredible numbers. And every year the conference keeps growing. In hour 4, we're going to have a donor recognition thing for liquid loans. We're going to have Walrus speaking. He's one of the best speaking members of the community that we have. And then one of the smartest members of the community here, KDP, she's going to be speaking for 20 minutes as well. And then we've got the Power of TShares 4th edition. These guys have done a updated talk every year. Since the first HEX conference, they've been putting together this incredible data-driven talk that is going to be the keynote of day 1, the Power of TShares with Abit, Patrick, KSB, Hex Lion, Hex is the Way, and Blue Bum. So that's a really badass team that's going to be doing that this year. And shout out to ChrispyMan who put together some of the data for them. And then, as if that wasn't good enough, the final hour is going to be a 9-person social with Ashley Ash, Brisology, Crypto Class, Hex Ray Vision, Pulse Disciple, Day 43 OG, Hex Photographer, and anywhere it says TBA on this schedule, don't think we didn't have enough people to fill the spot. It's actually, we had somebody in mind who's been a regular streamer in the community, but because of the holidays, I didn't hear back from them yet. And so I've got somebody penciled in, but they haven't confirmed yet. And a lot of them have confirmed and just haven't gotten updated on the schedule yet. So, for example, day 2. Are you ready for this? KG, this is Sunday the 7th.
Ready.
We're going to have Alex McWhorter and Dipcatcher on at the same time for hour 1, which is something I'm calling a founder fever for the win. Both of these gentlemen have invented Hex derivative products and are giga brains in the space. And I think people are going to like that talk for sure.
I think so too. They are 2 of the most looked up to and well-respected builders in our community. And to see them together is going to be great because I'm sure they're going to dive into some galaxy brain topics. And that's very exciting for everybody. So good job on scheduling together, especially to start the day off. Coffee and Hedron Maxi chat. Okay, let's go.
Let's go. And then we're going to do an hour-long panel about like translating into other languages, which is a really big deal right now in all of YouTube. This is something that Mr. Beast does and all the other biggest content creators in the world. And the HEX Conference is the first crypto community to start using AI to be able to translate and lip sync into other languages. People have seen this pinned on my Twitter where I gave some examples of Fashion Coder and Johnny Chaos and Richard and I all translated into languages that we don't speak flawlessly. So I think I'm going to sit in on that panel, and it'll be Jory and Georgia Carrera. And Hex Lion. I'm hoping that'll be the 4-person group where we explore the benefits of basically recruiting whales and everybody in other languages. And then I'm hoping to have a 20-minute talk or a 10-minute talk about getting your passport in other countries and this and that kind of stuff. People do with Hex Travel with Mark Wild and Suzanne Hexakin. We're going to have a donor talk from Anders of Love.io. All these people who donated, I like handpicked them because they're brands that inspire me. So I feel that has the least conflict of interest I could have as a conference creator. And the final 20 minutes of the third hour there on day 2 is a DCA talk from hexfire.io. ChrispyMan, as you all know him from the show. And he is, I believe he is on a vacation at the moment, a well-deserved vacation. So that's why he's not on the stream tonight.
Shout out ChrispyMan vacay.
Yeah. And then we got coming up here. This is going to be actually you, KG, and RG3 and Cabana Crypto and Kodiak, who you all know him as the creator of backuphex.com, which is the only way that people can get accounts if they don't know how to run a contract code off of Etherscan or PulseScan. And so that is going to be an amazing group of personalities and gigabrains there in the Hex is Real DeFi panel.
Looking forward to it. I have not.
Yeah.
I've spoken with RG3 and Cabana. Have not spoken with Kodiak, so I'm looking forward to meeting him and
perfect.
talking about DeFi.
I was hoping that we'd put people together who will get along super well and haven't met yet. So that's good. And then in the keynote spot, we've actually got 3 different 20-minute talks here. We're going to have Corey Geary. He onboarded somebody who's done over $1 billion of volume in the real estate market, Robert G. Allen. He onboarded into PulseChain and Hex.
Nice.
So I'm going to have the 2 of them give a talk and tell us about their billionaire mindset.
Love it.
And then the other 2 community members who really stand out as being able to onboard and imagine being a billionaire is Dollar Cost Crypto and Funding Gym. So I'm going to confirm with them that they'll be able to meet at that time. And that's going to be a really sick keynote panel, triple play, triple threat. And then again, this is like an all-star panel for the 9-person on-screen wrap up at the end of the day on day 2 with KDP, Crypto Heartbeat, Big Kurkowski, Timothy Benjamin, Hex is the Way, DJ Cryptomatic, Crypty Girl, DIY Investing, and Par Excellence is moved over there because Casey the Hexakin has to go at a different time. So that's going to be epic.
Nice.
Yeah. And so day 3 is going to start off on Monday evening, onboarding to crypto. Now you'll see over here on day 4, it says onboarding to Hex. A lot of these people can do onboarding into lots of things, but these are just people who I thought would represent the panel well. Crypto Coffee, of course, the biggest Hex YouTuber out there. Crypto Coffee, Fashion Coder, Corey Costa, and Mike the Investor is going to be the 4th person on that panel.
Oh, nice. I like Mike. Mike's cool.
I can say all 4 of those people are fan favorites and people who stand out as onboarding people to crypto.
Yeah, and Mike is actually not, from the Hex and PulseChain community, but so he actually has outreach to a whole other community, which is great to have him in something like this because I'm sure his community will watch. And
yeah,
nice work on that. Nice work.
Thanks. Yeah, I really like him too. And then there's gonna be a 20-minute shout out to Hex Scout. They're not a donor, but I just had to put somebody in for every day, like the same format. So shout out to Hex Scout. They have been helping with onboarding to crypto and to Hex, and I think have really good intentions for the community. The TBA talk there is actually going to be Buckamentals, and he's going to talk about how he thinks the Hex bottom is in.
Nice.
So that's really cool because he's another one of the best spoken Hexicans out there. And then we've got, to wrap up the second hour, the last 20 minutes, David Feeder and Gamma DevOps. Can't get much better than that. Both,
those two guys, that is going to probably go over most of our heads, and that's okay because the content's going to be there.
That's right.
We'll break it down later.
Yeah. Both gigabrains in the validator space.
Yep.
And so that'll be exciting. And then, of course, there has to be a panel about meetups because there are so many amazing in-person events that are created by Discourse Syndicate and by individuals in the community. So we're going to have a Wild SJ, 8bit_hex, a Will Stevenson, and a Black Hexican, Caitlin, who will all four be up there to talk about their different approaches to putting on meetups.
Nice.
Yeah. And then after that, there's going to be 3 20-minute talks. One of them is going to be Crypto Heartbeat and Hex Token.
Nice.
Now, Hex Token, he may be the Hexican who's made the most streams ever. We're going to have to fact check that, but it's like him and Hexologists who have both done like daily streams for years and everything. And so I think these two are going to be gold together, Crypto Heartbeat and Hex Token. So we got that confirmed there for day 3. And then we got Look Into Hex creator Gerardo. And then after that, I think we're going to actually go with, because I know Hansi can't make it at that time. So either we'll have pre-recorded from him or a Hex photographer and I might do a talk about crypto mental health, because for the keynote hour of day 3, we're going to have Aubrey DeGray,
nice.
one of the founders of the Sens Foundation, but most recently he founded the Longevity Escape Velocity Foundation, and he's going to give us an update about how the 1,000 mice that got paid for by the PulseChain sacrifice donations, how those mice are doing in having their lives extended by 4 different treatments. So that's going to be exciting.
Yeah, Aubrey is a really cool individual. I had the opportunity to talk consciousness and afterlife over some chicken wings at Dave and Buster's with him.
Yeah, it's he's putting in the work. So dude, I saw him on a stream. Dude, I'm not making this up. He was on a stream with all these people who were talking about something I've never heard of called DeSci, like decentralized science.
Makes complete sense.
Does it? I don't know if it does. I don't know if it makes complete sense, but I had never heard of it. And these people were talking about it like it was a thing.
Well, it's like, okay, science in and of itself is a belief system, right? Because you could have 2 people accredited by the same accreditation foundations, right? That's an official scientist right there. And they could see completely opposite ends of the spectrum. But whatever one confirms somebody's bias, they're going to call the truth. And the one that is in opposition to somebody's bias, they're going to call, conspiracy theory or whatever. And so DeSci, I mean, I haven't heard that term, but that makes perfect sense because it's saying that, hey, we are all basically consensus as to what the truth is. Not, hey, from the top down, this is what the truth and this is what you should believe is real about our reality.
Well, it sounds like I converted you on the stream, and I'm not sure if I meant to do that.
I'm a
but,
DeSci Maxi. Let's go.
Dude, let's go.
Done. Sold.
You know, I'm still a little bit held up on how they stole our term DeFi along with everybody else, but nevertheless, go figure. And then, of course, day 3, you're going to get a completely different mix of a social because it's being taken over by What the Hex, which is a weekly stream that's been going on for years. And we're going to have 9 individuals there. They aren't all necessarily on the show, but definitely seem to be amazing community members that all probably get along and are more on the Papa B side of things. So we got Papa B, Bullish 0x, Child, Crypto King, Matty Crypto, Jexa, Hex Monkey, Daraj One, and the singer Danny. So that's going to be pretty cool. That's going to be an amazing panel of people who really care about what they're talking about and have a lot of heart. Day 4, last day of the conference, Tuesday, January 9th. Started off with the 20-minute talk from Axis Alive. I'm calling it the lock and roll strategy. It's kind of like rock and roll, except lock and roll.
I like it.
He's going to talk about that. Then we're going to have Hexy Bastard talking about a 9inch.io donor. And I'm going to do a 20-minute talk. Oh, by the way, shout out to Hexy Bastard. I love everything he's doing. There's only one place you can get Hex on Ethereum and on PulseChain, and it's 9inch.io. So I love that. I love that that's a good place for people to buy EHEX and PHEX. And yeah, I just think, as I said, I'm very inspired by all these different brands that are being featured here. Of course, if you're a brand that's not featured in the HEX conference, it's probably because it's mostly about HEX, and probably because we've got a whole online Pulse conference that can include everybody who's building on Pulse. And that's typically been in July every year for the past 2 years, going on 3rd year this year. So that's cool. I'm going to reveal my secret plan to onboard a shitload of Ethereum Genesis whales.
Nice.
Into Hex. Yes. And PulseChain. Super excited about that. That's going to be a 20-minute talk from me. And then these Hexicans with the onboarding, Tobiwan Hexobi, Kareem the Dream, Whitney Magic, and Ben Dubard. That's a power panel right there for sure. And then we're going to do a 10-minute talk on the history of crypto and Hex from Randy Hilarski.
Nice.
And then a 10-minute talk from Hex Tangent about the same topic because they're both veterans in the field. Then we've got the highest of stakes, people who were involved in creating my favorite action documentary of all time. I've seen it 10 times. I'm going to see it more before the conference. Tobiwan Hexobi, Kinetics, and Big Kurkowski, they are going to do a 20-minute talk together. Amazing. And then, all right, man, this is the one that you didn't know that I'm announcing right now. Okay. We're going to have a 20-minute talk from RG3 and Mikey.
Oh, wow. Nice.
Yes. Mikey
That'll be
confirmed today.
That'll be interesting.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see how that's going to go.
Dude, I've done the math, and I believe that it would be impossible. Even though he bought at 41 cents, it'd be impossible for him to not have been able to sell at some point in the past year for a profit. Because even if you went into PulseX did a 1.5x off the bat. And so now I haven't haven't done the chain analysis on Mikey, but and I don't know what they're going to want to talk about, but that's what I would ask him about for sure.
Sure.
Okay.
Nice
And
pull.
I mean, like, the reason I would ask him is because he was a character in the movie, which brought up the issue of whether people are going to be saved by this, you know, by being in Hex, by being in the PulseChain sacrifice, that sort of thing. So
Sure. Fair thing to
like,
talk about.
yeah, if you're in a movie that's popularizing the idea that Hex ruins people and you didn't really get ruined, then I would be interested to hear what your take is.
Sure. Absolutely.
Good. So that is amazing. And then this power panel here is going to be Axis Alive, Westcott Crypto, Hex Monkey, and I'm hoping to confirm Cultivate Crypto. Do you know who he is?
I've heard his name. Can't picture his profile or anything off the top right now.
He streams with Dollar Cost Crypto, and those two have the most successful paid course in the history of crypto.
Good for them.
Which is huge because they onboard people into Hex and PulseChain big time. And but Cultivate Crypto is actually somebody who spoke against Richard Hart when Hex was released, and he's completely changed his mind on the topic. And,
Very nice.
It's amazing. Amazing to see people get it eventually.
Sure.
Yeah, so that's really cool. There's probably a lot of people who watch this show that like watch his show. So yeah, help me reach out to him and confirm him for that spot. And then, oh man, what is going to happen next? Richard has spoke every year at the Hex Conference. He's never missed a year. He spoke in 2021 in January, 2022 in January, 2023, every time January 9th. So will he speak this? I don't know, which is fine with me that I don't know because because it'll be a beautiful surprise to find out whether I have to put together a Richard Hart rewind video or whether there might be new material. So that's exciting to me.
I think it would make people very bullish if Richard showed up and spoke at the conference.
I mean, you know, anything would be welcome. And then to wrap up the 2024 hexconference.com, we have this panel of people who just crush it every time. Crypto Coffee, Johnny Chaos, Axis Live, Walrus, Dollar Cost Crypto, Westcott Crypto, Sticker Guy Win, Fashion Coder, and myself, Matty Allen.
Excellent way to end the conference.
Totally. So yeah, so I'm really excited for this year's Hex Conference. I think it's going to be the best one ever. And shout out to everybody who is speaking in order to, again, to be a speaker. We need you to show up on time. You need to come 20 to 30 minutes early to do a light and sound check. You need to go to the speaker's Telegram room, which has been direct messaged to you by myself on Twitter or Telegram. And yeah, then you'll have everything you need in order to join the stream, have your green screen and your lighting all set up well. And it's going to be pretty incredible. And of course, the world record event, that's going to be, the practice is going to be this Saturday afternoon, but then the real attempt will be the following Saturday. And thanks to Tea Time for the $10 super chat. Shout out to one of the most loyal and consistent streamers. We appreciate you, Maddie. Hey, thanks. Appreciate you guys too.
Second that, man. Truly. Incredible thing you set up here. And it's
thanks, man.
It just goes to show that not only do we have a passionate brand that is Hex and PulseChain, we have a very professional brand that is Hex and PulseChain. I mean, look at this. This is nothing shy of, you could do this for a living, bro. So
Thanks. Yeah, it's funny because like I came from academia, and many like universities and national organizations cannot pull off this type of a conference where you have something like 80 or 85 speakers. In 2022 we had 100 speakers. And the reason
Wow.
it's possible in this community is because we're all so organically connected, and
Hmm.
we all care about it so much. And it might be even people telling us we're wrong, and we know that we're right. That might help too.
That's a really like insightful thing you said there, is that we are organically connected and not like, hey, my PR guy is going to reach out to your PR guy and let's see if we can work out the deal points, right? It's we all legitimately want to talk about the things that we're slotted to talk about and we're passionate about it. So, yeah, that's a really insightful point.
There's never been a crypto community, including Bitcoin, including Ethereum, that had this level of cohesion at such an early age. At the fourth year, Johnny Chaos always loves to point out the picture of when Andreas was speaking in the fourth year of Bitcoin. Nobody was there. There was an empty conference room.
Mm.
And yeah, so I think just it's because of the community, not me. Like, it's because of the community that this is possible, and I am really proud of our community. So of course I want to pitch in and do what I'm good at, which is organizing. So shout out to Whitney, one of the speakers coming up this year. Consistency and strength is so impressive. Job well done, Maddie. Can't wait for the conference. That's how I feel too. Can't wait for it.
I'm excited.
Beautiful, beautiful thing, this community. So, in the past hour and a half, we covered a lot. We didn't know that StakeRap was going to shut down their operations, and or like whatever the term is, fade out, uh, sunset. I think is
Yep.
the tech
Yep.
term. They're sunsetting, and here we have the leading PulseChain wallet creator here on stream. Again, I'm not joking. Like, I'm not being sarcastic. We actually didn't know that was going to happen, but
We didn't.
very relevant. Always breaking news on Game Theory Gang.
I mean, the tweet literally came out while we were on stream. How could we prepare for that? I mean,
yeah.
you know?
So I'm glad we got to cover all of that as it was happening and bring up some hot takes on that. And then we've also talked about the thumbnail where we're predicting that there could be an exchange listing for Pulse in a smaller centralized exchange in Asia, thanks to the good work of Anders from love.io. And looking forward to any kind of that stuff. The chat is asking for Sami to come speak at the Hex Conference. If you want Sami to speak as much as I do, then why aren't you leaving him messages to that effect in his YouTube comments and on Twitter? It's like, if the crowd wants something, you got to ask for it. And I've definitely already, invited him on. I mean, hey, whenever he revealed his face after we thought he was an AI or something, because he pumps out content so consistently.
Yeah.
Turns out he's just a really great guy. And but he had some plan to like not show his face for a year for some reason. And so I don't know if he has a plan to like not go live for another year or something like that, but definitely get out there and ask him, bribe him, whatever it takes. What's up, Hex Monkey? What's up, Casey? Yeah. Sami's more than welcome. We will make room for him if he decides to pre-record or come on live.
That'd be another breaking, Maddie streaming extravaganza. Sami's first live appearance.
That would be cool. Yeah. And even if even if Sami can't make it, you know, he's still out there covering this stuff. And that's another advantage that we have is even people, you know, even outside of the 80 people or 85 people who are speaking at the conference this year, there's a massive amount of supporters out there. Some of them, they believe a little bit less when the price isn't at all-time highs, but even the people, I mean, what's the combined price of Hex right now? Maybe 1.5 cents, somewhere around there.
Sounds about right.
That's about where we were at last year when the conference happened. We were at like 1.8 or 2 cents. I know we didn't get below 1.7, but yeah, I mean, we've been all the way up at 12 cents this year, in the past year. And so, what people didn't like buying Hex at 1.7 cents and selling it for 12 cents. They thought it could go higher, so they decided to hold on to it. Well, that sounds like a believer to me, especially a year later being around the same price. So,
I mean, call it a stable coin, I guess.
I wouldn't call it that. But yeah, I'm really glad that you were able to come on and we had so many people watching as always. I think you and I are both like kind of tired at this point, basically because we've been working so hard and you know, getting through the holiday season here. So yeah, I think like if you want to go ahead and tell people where to find you, we can start to wrap up here.
Sure, yeah, and I would, you know, push the 2 hours, but just I'm ready to
Me too.
ready to you know, not feeling great. So yeah, you know, for those that don't know me, again, I'm KG. I'm the founder of internetmoney.io, a MetaMask replacement that is native to PulseChain, fully customized for PulseChain. But everything you're used to doing in crypto with MetaMask, you can do it right now today on Internet Money Wallet, twice security audited, fully open source. You can see all of our stats. We're on internetmoney.io. We're available on Android, iOS, and Chrome. We just crossed over 30,000 downloads. All of our socials, all of our download links, all of our stats, our repo, everything, internetmoney.io. And if you want to find me, you can find me through internetmoney.io.
Awesome. And make sure to tune in for the Hex Conference coming up here Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. We have the most YouTubers in crypto. You can find out more at hexconference.com. Yeah, I think there's a lot to look forward to in the conference itself, as we've been discussing. So with that being said, hit the like and subscribe button. Thanks for tuning in. And until next time, stake wisely, my friends, and peace out.
Bye, Maddie. Thank you.